Thanks to our studio audience for joining us today on Delmarva Life. To find out how you can become a member of our studio audience, visit delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab or call the number on your screen, 443-880-9160. And it's a lot of fun.
I love these guys.
Yeah.
I love these guys.
They're great. Well, you know, the Super Bowl is just 4 days away, and who better to talk to or with than a part of football history?
Tom Brown lives in Salisbury, Maryland, played defensive back for the Green Bay Packers from 1964 to 1968, played in the first 2 Super Bowls. He's a part of sports history, and he's right here on the peninsula. Delmarva Life's Brian Spyros is there with Tom Brown.
Jimmy and Lisa, I am here with the man himself, Tom Brown, at his home here in Salisbury. And you know, you have a lot of accomplishments. They're here in your home, hanging on the wall. You know, you played Major League Baseball for the Washington Senators. Then, as we just mentioned, you played for the Green Bay Packers under one of the greatest, you said the greatest coach of all time, Vince Lombardi. And you were also inducted into the University of Maryland's Athletic Hall of Fame back in 1995, a school that you had attended. You know, what is it like for you to have all of these accomplishments and in doing so set the standard for so many other players that came after you?
Well, Brian, I never thought about setting a standard. All I wanted to do was play every day after school, baseball especially, and lucky enough to play professional baseball with the Washington Senators, and then also lucky enough to play with the Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi. What a great life lessons it is. Prepared you for life. It was just a wonderful opportunity, and I hope other people can have the same opportunity I had.
You know, you were a player, now you're a spectator. How has the game changed from when you were in it to now?
Well, it's an all-year-round job now. You know, you have to do off-season training. There's so many rules that they had now that Lombardi would probably turn over in his grave that you have to do. But it's just a tremendous thrill.
And you had also said earlier the media involvement in it now is just, it's something that you didn't have to go through back then.
ESPN has exploded. The Super Bowl is nowhere near what it is today in media day and things like that. So it's television has created a monster.
It's a lot of changes. And, you know, speaking of the Super Bowl, as you said, and we had said earlier, you played in the first 2 Super Bowls and won. You know, going to the Super Bowl is something that every football player dreams about or wants to happen. What is it like to actually be there and to win?
Well, obviously it's a big game, and you're on stage. Everybody, there's no other game. Everybody's watching that, and all your contemporaries are watching it, and you don't really appreciate the fact that you won the game until maybe 50 or 60 years later, when it's there in the record book that you won the game, and it will stay there forever.
Sort of after it happens, you're able to digest what actually went down. Now, let's look at some of the memorabilia you have in here. First of all, I want to start with this helmet here.
Yeah, that's a helmet that I sell. I go to memorabilia shows to raise money for my Tom Brown's Rookie League. We're a non-profit organization. And I get my teammates to sign the helmets, and then we can sell them to fans who collect Packer memorabilia and make some money at it.
For the Rookie League. And then what about this picture here?
Well, that's my favorite one. George Wright, who's a local artist out of Cambridge, did this 7 Faces of Lombardi, and I used that to get my players to sign it. And I'm really proud of that because that probably has more autographs of players who played for Vince Lombardi than anybody else has.
Wow.
I think I have the most autographs.
So very impressive. And then what about this book here? This is interesting.
Yeah, that's a book of Super Bowl tickets. And having played in the first Super Bowl, that costs you $10 to go to that game. Now, if you wanted to go to this year's game, it's probably going to cost you $900, and you're not going to be guaranteed a good seat.
That's a big price difference right here. And then finally, the one thing that we showed earlier in the tease, your Super Bowl ring from Super Bowl #1. What does this mean to you, having this?
Well, it means that you've accomplished something great that only 36 of us did play in the first Super Bowl and won it. That's the big thing that Lombardi says. You know, you're always going to remember that. And that means a lot of great memories and tradition and pride in your performance, and it just means the world to me.
So a lot of sentimental value.
Absolutely.
You know, we have the Giants and the Patriots getting ready to go head-to-head on Sunday. As someone who's been there, done that, what advice briefly would you give to those players as they're getting ready?
I don't have to give any advice to the players. I know that obviously this is the biggest stage they're going to be on. They have to know their assignments. And it's a matter of luck. I mean, just the Green Bay Packers were 1 inch away from going back to the Super Bowl when Tuck, I think, knocked the ball out of Rodgers' hands. It's a game of inches.
And you never know what's going to happen.
You never know when the big play is coming, too.
And finally, what are your predictions for Sunday's game?
Well, I really am a big Patriot fan. I love Bill Belichick. He's a lot like Lombardi. I like Brady. And I'm a Patriot fan all the way.
And you'll be watching Sunday.
I'll certainly be watching.
You and millions of others.
Right
Tom,
here on this TV.
Tom, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Now,
Okay,
for
Brian.
more information on Tom or his rookie league, you can go to our website, delmarvalife.com, and click on the show tab. Jimmy and Lisa will send it back to you guys. And no, I am not bringing the Super Bowl ring back to the studio. It's staying right here in the house.
I can't even believe you picked it up.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that.
I had it on my finger,
Had
too,
it on
and
your
everything.
finger.
I hope you took
Yeah,
pictures.
on my
Yes.
finger.
All
Please
right.
tell Tom thank you.
Thanks,
Wow, that
Brian.
was
Well,
awesome.
up next on Delmarva Life, it seems like we're all trying to keep in shape these days. CrossFit Dover is here to tell us about some functional fitness that'll get you the results you want.
Delmarva Life. Life at its best, right here on Delmarva.